I'm back again with another TA video on the cryptocurrency market, as well as I want to go over some of the S&P, NASDAQ, traditional finance, so we can get a gist of kind of where we are on the macro. So if you watched the last video, it wasn't a TA video, it was, I was going over a little challenge that I was attempting. So if you haven't seen that video, obviously go and check it out. I think that'll be a cool series to kind of watch and see how it plays out. But essentially I'd shown that there are these 3 lows, I guess you could even say 4 wicks down, that I was looking to get swept, right? I wanted to see the price sweep them and then go, and I didn't really think that was going to be enough right there. I was expecting, a further pullback into here to scare the market and then leave. But obviously everything is just probabilities, and it looks like what actually happened was we got most of the stops out from people that longed here, so that's cool. And then what we did is we played this in a 10x speed. You can obviously see that the price never swept this, and we clearly left the range. So Bitcoin is smooth sailing from here on out. But this area right here, I could just feel it in the market. There was a lot of bearishness. A lot of people were thinking we were going to go back and test the bull market support band at around 40,000. I think it's where it's at. And a lot of traders were taking shorts here. A lot of people were taking shorts here. And what happens when you get a lot of shorts in the market? The price usually goes against you. So I think that's exactly what happened. Was there was a lot of people thinking they were geniuses, taking out high leverage shorts, low leverage shorts, whatever, and Bitcoin just went against the traders, because that's what Bitcoin does. So that's essentially what happened. I think you just got too much of a crowded position in this area. People were closing out their longs. You were able to get capitulations without actually sweeping. So yeah, essentially you didn't need this sweep to get all your shorts in the market to bring you up higher. No, you got it right here. Everyone shorted the market in this area. Well, what do you do when you fly up after people short the market? Well, you liquidate them, and then that gives you momentum to the upside, because it flips those shorts into longs, and they use that to blast out of this range. So now we are continuing the parabolic run. Turns out the 702 was not the high on Bitcoin, which I didn't really think it would be because of this pixel touch, right? Whenever price pixel touches a fib, usually it's not correct, right? Usually that is retail getting trapped. You can see every time it comes up and pixels a fib, that's retail shorting. This is retail shorting. This is retail shorting. So you're able to use that juice from all the shorts in here to blast you up, and then all the juice from those stops up here to continue leaving the range. So yeah, we are off to the races now. Bitcoin is in full price discovery for the year, right? Obviously there is previous volume levels that we're going to have to deal with, and that's at 56.5. And that's a big level I will be watching out for, but I think at this point we are going to be breaking that weekly bearish divergence by the time we get up to 56.5. I'm not sure that will be a contender for a top 4 Bitcoin. I think this will probably blast through, retest, and just keep blasting through. So as of now, I think we are so much more in the favor of going to all-time highs. It doesn't make sense that this would be the high. It doesn't make sense that this would be the high. At this point, I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see all-time highs, and we're going to see those altcoins go absolutely parabolic. This is going to be very, very exciting. Now, do I think we are going to go 100K plus, 200K plus, 500K plus? No, I don't think so. I think there are 2 possible scenarios here, and the first one is much more likely than the second. One is that we front run 100K, like I've been talking about in my other videos, and we end up somewhere in this range for a top on Bitcoin between all-time highs and 100K, right? We trap everyone that holds until 100K, and they're not going to sell until 100K because that's just retail mindset. So we trap them here. We make a big monthly bearish divergence, and that's like a macro top 4 Bitcoin for a very long time, and we have a .com type crash afterwards. Okay, that's what makes most sense to me. I think that's much more probable than the second scenario I'm going to give you. Because retail is never right, I don't think we're going to go to 110K to 250K, because that's what everyone is calling for, right? If we do breach up past 100K, I think it's because something has fundamentally gone right for Bitcoin. And what I mean by that is world governments have decided this is going to be the reserve currency. And if that is the case, the market cap of gold will get smashed. Because fundamentally, it is better than gold if it's backed by world governments. If it's backed by militaries, then the fundamentals are better than really anything on this planet. It's a complete gamble if that's going to happen, and that's why I'm not going to be betting on this. But I think it would blow people's price targets out of the water, and you would see Bitcoin go parabolic past 500K. This is where retail thinks we're going. Somewhere in this range. So somewhere in this range is not going to happen, in my opinion. So we're either going to be in this range, or we are going to go to the absolute moon. And it's possible under one scenario, and that's obviously that the central bank digital currency of the world is backed in Bitcoin, which is a small possibility. I'm not going to bet on that. I think that's very unlikely, at least for the short term. I would expect a .com style bubble where Bitcoin goes down 90% plus after this next high. Yes, you heard that right. 90% down would land you under $10,000, under this bear market low. No one thinks we're going below 15K ever again. A lot of people don't think we're ever going below 30K ever again. I disagree. I think we will have a high in here somewhere, and then after that high, I think we will come down all the way to 30K, where we will get a nice bear market rally, and then it'll turn back over and go all the way to $3,500 to $9,000. A lot of people are going to say that ain't gonna happen. Bitcoin's never testing anything below 30K ever again. This is gonna be the bear market range of the next cycle. I think that would be the case if Trump and Vivek get into office and there's no World War III or Civil War, and everything goes back to normal and our economy starts flourishing again. That could definitely be the case. I think we're about to go into Great Depression 2.0 and World War III, in which case Bitcoin goes down here. So hope I'm wrong, but that's just how I see it. I'm just hyped that we were able to get through the Golden Pocket convincingly, get through the 702 convincingly. We don't have a weekly bearish divergence anymore, so that 56.5 level that I thought could potentially be a top is much less likely now. That 65.5 level just wouldn't make sense to bring it up there. So at this point, it's like the only way I see a top coming in here is if we get hard resistance, swing fail it, and then we could get that, weekly bear div, but it just doesn't look like it. The money flow is too hot right now. The stock market's breaking all-time highs, so we have every reason to go to all-time highs on Bitcoin. I think we're going to do it. I think this is an extremely exciting time. I think this was a huge day to prove to everyone that, hey, Bitcoin's not playing around here. We're going to all-time highs this cycle, and I'm very convinced, more convinced than ever, that Bitcoin is going to do it. We're gonna become trillionaires out here. If you're in the market, you've been riding it since the bear market, hold your bags because you're about to get rich. But, of course, watch your euphoria levels. When these all-time highs do get broken, that's where you got to be cautious. That's where you got to start getting locked in, taking profits, and getting ready for the Great Depression 2.0 that's about to hit our entire world. It's going to be a global depression. Hope I'm wrong. So before we end this video, I did say I wanted to look at NASDAQ, S&P, and I think these are more concerning than Bitcoin. If you're in traditional finance market, it might be time to start taking profits. I think this is a potential top. I would not be surprised if right now we pull all the way back to all-time highs. We then get a nice bounce off there, make a secondary high with big weekly divergences, and that is where the top's going to come in. So if I was in traditional finance, I would be selling my positions here, and I would be rotating that into crypto that is about to go absolutely parabolic, because I just don't think there is much left especially in large caps. There are probably a lot of good low cap AI plays or other plays that I'm just not aware of because I don't research traditional finance. But outside of, low micro caps in the stock market, I think gains have already happened, especially for something like Nvidia. And we can actually pull up Nvidia here real quick because we might as well look at it. It's been a very hot topic in the finance world, and I don't think there's much room left. You can see on the earnings report, we blasted up and created a CME gap, whereas now we have a pretty harsh, bearish divergence there on the money flow. Is coming down. All the waves are, rolling over as well. So all of your strength indicators are pointing down, and with that, the CME gap as well as shorter term time frames are looking like distribution. So if you're in Nvidia, I would just sell this. Not financial advice, obviously. I mean, it can never hurt taking profits though. And even if this were to continue up, you really think you're gonna break 1,000? You really think you're gonna go much higher than this? You probably have, if this isn't the top, 20-25% left in this thing. It's just not worth holding, in my opinion. I would rather rotate this into a crypto play or a low cap play if you do research stocks. If you do research stocks, let me know in the comments what some low cap plays are. I'd be really interested to know what's on fire right now or what's very undervalued right now. But yeah, I don't think there's much room left in this thing, and that would go along with Bitcoin shooting for all-time highs, because when Bitcoin breaks into all-time highs, it's usually a sign that the stock market is topped out. The stock market is to Bitcoin what Bitcoin is to altcoins, right? You don't have altcoins rally until Bitcoin breaks into all-time highs. Well, you don't have Bitcoin rally until the stock market breaks into all-time highs. So if the stock market is in distribution right now, that's where you're going to see Bitcoin go crazy. So yeah, on the NASDAQ here, what do I expect? Probably to roll over to all-time highs, get a nice bounce off that, make a secondary high with big weekly bearish divergences. Either that or we kind of just distribute here and then roll over. I'm not going to know exactly what's going to happen with the markets. I just know that there's not a lot of room left. I might be wrong. We do still have that monthly bear div that's much higher. So this could continue to just rally up and make some sort of just gnarly monthly bearish divergence blow off top, and that's a very real case as well. But even if that were to happen, you're still going to make more gains rotating it to crypto. That's just my opinion. That's all I wanted to say about S&P, NASDAQ, all that good stuff. Either we're gonna march up another 20% or whatever and then blow off top, or we're going to distribute double top bear div and that'll be the top. Either way, there's not much room left here, so to risk it, take out opportunity cost and other assets, it's just not worth it at this point. That's my thoughts on the stock market, the traditional finance area. These are my thoughts on Bitcoin. But that's going to be all for this video. Hope you guys got some nice insight, added to your own thesis, because you never should be having the same thesis as me. You're just kind of using what I'm saying to double check yourself, to kind of maybe add to it, tweak to what you're thinking. But yeah, see you guys in the next one. Hopefully Bitcoin can just fly up to the moon right now. I'm really expecting that to have been our last kind of resistance point at 50K. I think this is going to go just completely vertical into all-time highs. So yeah, should be really, really fun times in the markets. And I'll see you guys in the next video.